This episode discusses childhood abuse, emotional neglect, and trauma. While no graphic details are included, the themes may be difficult or triggering for some viewers, especially survivors of abuse. Please take care of yourself while watching. Step away if you need to. If this topic brings up difficult feelings, consider reaching out to someone you trust or a mental health professional. You're not weak for needing support. You never were.
My name is Luka. I live on the second floor.
I heard the song Luka 100 times before I really understood what it meant. It was just there, on the radio, MTV, grocery stores, car rides, and the background of my childhood. And that's how it often works when you're a kid. You don't hear meaning, you hear mood. And you don't hear abuse, you hear rules and warnings. You hear instructions on how to behave so nobody gets angry. For a lot of Gen X kids, Luka wasn't fiction. It was instruction.
Welcome to the Mighty Philbert Show! It's the Mighty Philbert Show!
Hello, Mighty Ones. I am the Mighty Philbert. And honestly, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. Aww. Now, Gen X childhood didn't usually look dramatic in the way movies portray drama. There were no swelling soundtracks or slow motion breakdowns, and there were no clear villains. It was quieter than that. We were latchkey kids. Divorce rates were rising, both parents worked. Mental health wasn't a conversation, it was barely a concept. Now, I'm not saying that all adults were monsters. Mainly they were tired, overwhelmed, distracted, and very good at not seeing what they didn't want to see. We were told to go outside, figure it out, stop complaining, and be grateful. And somewhere along the way, many of us learned a simple rule: don't be a problem. And that's why Luka by Suzanne Vega slipped past so many adults without setting off alarms. Because it doesn't sound like an angry song. It doesn't sound frightened or especially sad. It sounds polite.
My name is Luka. I live on the second floor.
Not a cry for help, an introduction. Luka doesn't accuse, he just explains. He doesn't ask to be rescued, he just wants to be understood. And even then, only gently. The song never names the abuser. It never raises its voice or demands justice. Instead, it offers lines like,
Only hit till you cry. After that, you don't ask why.
Now that wasn't shocking enough to disrupt anyone's comfort. It sounded manageable, containable, and easy to overlook. And that's exactly why it mattered.
If you hear something late at night, some kind of trouble, some kind of fight.
There's one line in Luka that lodged itself deep into the bones of all us Gen X kids. And it's this one.
I think it's 'cause I'm clumsy. I try not to talk too loud.
That's not poetry. That's conditioning. That's a child who has already decided the problem must be them. Not the adults or the violence, not the situation, just them. We didn't grow up asking, why is this happening to me? We asked, what did I do wrong? We didn't stay silent because we were confused. We stayed silent because silence was safer. We were taught not to tattle. Remember that? Don't be a tattletale. And we were told not to embarrass our family. We were supposed to respect authority and not make waves. And churches, well, they preached obedience. Schools punished troublemakers. And families emphasized appearances. And somehow, respect always meant staying quiet, especially when adults were involved. Especially when the adult was respected. There was a powerful myth during our childhoods. If a kid was well behaved, that kid was fine. Quiet meant mature. Polite meant safe. Independent meant strong. But no one asked why some kids stayed quiet. They just praised them for it. They were wise beyond their years, easy to take care of, never causes any trouble. And that's just another way of saying no one was listening.
And it's not your business anyway.
Many Gen X survivors didn't speak until decades later. Some didn't speak until therapy finally gave them language. Some didn't speak until addiction or burnout forced the truth to surface. Some didn't speak until relationships started collapsing under the weight. Some never spoke at all. Not because they forgot, but because silence became part of their identity. And that's the real damage, isn't it? Not just what happened, but how long it had to be carried alone. Now, Luka, that song still matters. And, it didn't fix anything, but it did do something rare. It told the truth without spectacle, without rage, without forcing disclosure. It simply gave recognition without exposure. It quietly said, hey, you're not imagining this. You're not broken, and you're not alone. And for a generation raised to endure quietly, that mattered.
Just don't argue anymore. Just don't argue anymore.
We like to believe things are different now, and in some ways they are. But silence is still mistaken for stability. Good behavior is still confused with safety, and discomfort is still ignored when it's inconvenient. The lesson of Luka isn't nostalgia, it's attentiveness. Because sometimes the quiet kid isn't okay. They're just really good at disappearing. So in closing, as I said earlier, Luka didn't fix anything, it didn't save everyone. But it told the truth in a time when truth made people uncomfortable. And for Gen X kids who learned early that survival meant staying small, sometimes a song was the only place the truth could breathe. Now, if this hits you kind of close to home, let me just say something to you, okay? You're not weak. You're not late. And you're not alone. Just remember that, okay? You're not alone. That's going to do it for the show today. Until next time, remember, you don't have to be religious to do the right thing. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay mighty, everybody.
You just watched the Mighty Philbert Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it now with someone that you know.
This is an Okie Doke production.